The Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles, which one would you consider to be the more disappointing NFC East team? Bomani Jones. What about
can the Cowboys really still disappoint you? Like, I feel like the Cowboys are at that point where if they continue to disappoint you, it's kind of sort of your fault, right?
Yeah.
The Eagles is just so much more inexplicable. Like, the Cowboys had a bad game. If nothing else, if you want to just put it out there and say, hey, they played their worst game of the season at the worst time possible, you could make the argument that's an excuse, but you could pass that off as plausible. We watched the Eagles die a slow death for 17 weeks or 18 weeks. It started early. They were just getting by everybody, and we got into our sports cliche. Well, they're just finding ways to win. Like they was champions or something, which they're not. We gave them champion benefit because they came close to winning one. And then you looked at how bad they looked in that game, and it was over from the very beginning where, I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Right. And so you will choose the Eagles instead of the Cowboys on that fact.
I will.
I don't think, by the way, they're going to make either one of those teams is going to make a coaching change. I think that might be our way of looking at it. Well, this is an unacceptable type of way to go out. And I just don't see both of those teams bouncing their coaches. I just don't see it.
I think it's more likely that Jerry keeps McCarthy because Jerry doesn't like to fire coaches.
Isn't that he has the reputation of just being a total, shoot from the hip type guy, and he is not.
No,
he's the opposite of it.
I talked to somebody who worked with him in a pretty significant capacity and then worked in another NFL franchise, and the point he made was Jerry's more loyal than anybody else that he has worked with in this sports realm. Like, there's a move to make on McCarthy. You could make the argument, but the only time he's moved on a coach after, I want to say 3 years, was Dave Campo, but they went 5-11 3 years in a row.
That's right.
This isn't that. The Eagles, though, the question they have to ask themselves is, whatever happened this year, look, I don't know these people. I don't know that team, but something looks very clearly to be broken. If something is broken, what role does the coach play in it breaking, and is the coach capable of repairing it? And it seems difficult to wrap my mind around the idea that the answer to both of those are positive for Sirianni. But I also think that both of those dudes are working in a negative place where we're holding against them how we felt about them in the beginning. Like for Sirianni here, shaking off that press conference. Good job. You made us forget about it until something bad happened. And now you the dude that was out there looking ridiculous at your introductory press conference. And McCarthy, every bit of skepticism that we had about him coming in, it never went away, right? We all asked the question as to why in the world he had that job in the first place. And then 3 12-win seasons later, people are still asking the same question.
Well, that's because the last games of each one of his seasons have been spectacular failures.
Yes.
From not getting the ball placed to whatever the heck that last snap to Ezekiel Elliott was in his Dallas career to this year.
Well, and the other part, too.
And that is?
The world's a little bit skeptical of our Portly brothers. This is not a small. This is not a small part of the discussion, man. People don't treat them right, and the assumption is not. I'm not lying about this. I'm not saying I do it because I don't have the room to participate in this conversation.
You're not a waitist.
No. I'm like, for me, this is like when John Oliver talks about the Irish, or he's like, I sound like this. I can't get into this. I'm not gonna say anything about the man, but I know the rest of y'all, man. I know where it comes from, and the double extra large is not helping his case in terms of the skepticism that people feel about him.
Is that because people feel in this way? Let's get into it here. That if you don't have the discipline to stay in shape, you don't have a discipline to coach a team.
That's exactly it.
Really?
That's it.
Where are we with Andy Reid? With all due respect.
I mean, honestly, where are we with like 45% of the American population, if we're being honest about this? Like, we are a pudgy people, and I'm saying we to throw myself into this. I've gained a little weight in the last couple months, right? I'm getting a little closer to joining you guys.
You look great.
Thank you. But this is just,
You're welcome.
It's not my fault that other people are bad. We just have to acknowledge the fact that we struggle a little bit with how we deal with our chubbier friends. You know what I'm saying? They are friends.
Of course. So a little bit. So you're saying that McCarthy could keep his job if he just hit that Ozempic a little bit.
I'm saying that
he should get the Ozempic, the Wegovy treatment here.
I'm saying that people would be a little less harsh toward him.
Unbelievable.
If that look, I'm just think about your life, man. Just think about how it goes. This is who we are.
I thought he's been looking good this year. Actually.
Better?
Yeah, I do.
Better?
Well, I mean,
he's got the beard to try to hide it.
Oh my God.
That's what big guys.
See, that never helps.
Big guys get beards.
Guys.
Look at Santa.
All right. You want to chime in here, Felly? Is that what you want to say?
I just took that as a personal shot, but it's all right.
I'm telling people to be nicer to folks in that realm. I'm not saying you one of them. I'm just telling you, man, like, people need to be better. That's just how they not doing right by. I don't don't know how this got to be about me, by the way.
Because you keep throwing yourself in the mix here. You know, you're the one who's throwing yourself in the mix here.
You keep sticking me with these awkward silences. Like after I say it, you're like, oh!
No,
I'm just like,
no, it's all good. Bomani Jones is here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.